right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are some travel teams that will play 100 plus games, right? In a summer or just in a year, and they won't get a lot of practice in, or or vice versa.
Are you trying to make me mad?
Oh, I'm not. Where do you think the ratio? Where do you think a good ratio is for travel? And because going along the topic of what parents should consider when they're looking at teams, to me, I feel like this is
that's a good point.
This is also a topic that they should be like, okay, well, how many games are we playing? How many practices are we playing? I mean, where do you feel like that ratio should be? Where's a sweet spot, I guess?
Yeah, I would honestly, one, I don't think you should be playing year round. I just don't. I think you need a break. Everyone needs a break.
Yeah.
Play different sports if you want to. You don't have to, but kids aren't getting the opportunity to do that because it's year round. I personally think, so let's say seasons, and seasons are from, let's say spring season. I think 4 tournaments, and that's it. And then like people think 2 weeks is what we took a break. It was 2 weeks. I'm like, no, that's not a break.
Yeah.
Summer, 4, 5, depending on how long the seasons are.
Yeah.
But no, and it's a good point. We don't practice enough.
Yeah.
We should be practicing more than we play, in my opinion. Because that's how you learn.
Yeah.
And obviously you learn at games, but it's tough to make corrections and do all that in games.
Yeah. Do you think the tournament ball, because so much emphasis is on winning, right?
Yeah.
And you just gave the example of when you were coaching.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for coaches to use those game scenarios as learning lessons because it's so important to them to win the ball game.
Yeah.
Like, is there a negative to that? Like just strictly tournament ball versus like playing scrimmages, things like that, where we can maybe work on some situational stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's a more controlled environment, where we're still getting at bats, but we're also using this as like, hey, this is not for the championship right now.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a balance there with that, or not really? You think?
I mean, I think you can get a lot out of scrimmages if you do it the right way. Maybe you go modified counts to let it go quicker, but talking about situations. I do think a lot of coaches care about winning more than anything else. And it's like, of course, and I always try and preach this, like, I don't ever want anyone to think I am all about, we should develop and who cares if we lose? Like, no, we're winning. We're competitors.
Yeah.
But it also, like, did we have a fantastic tournament and we just happened to not win the championship? Okay. Or I'm not going to play down just so we can win. I'd rather play up, get our butts kicked. It's going to teach us something.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think we should scrimmage more. And I even say to my practice plan, or when I talk about practices, you should have, like, you can have situations, but maybe once a month do a modified scrimmage where you modified count. So 2-1 count. So pitchers aren't throwing a ton. Hitters can see live, and you can stop. Hey, where were we on that cutoff?
Yes,
we weren't in the right spot. Let's talk about it.
Yes, no, I love that.
Yeah.
You had talked about taking a break.
Yeah.
How long is a good break? Say obviously 2 weeks is not a real break, but how long would you recommend, or do you think is a good enough break for someone who let's say they're not going to play another sport? They just love softball. Softball's their thing. You still recommend taking a break, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And how long is a good enough break, do you think?
Months, 2 months now.
Months.
And that's like organized practice.
Got it.
So let's say summer, you really should not be playing that much in the fall. In my opinion,
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be the only one who thinks that, but like spring, summer, and then fall, like you can work,
right?
But it doesn't need to be an organized team practice and tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, it is in Florida. You can't in New York. Oh, I don't know if there's indoors, but
yeah.
Florida, it is. And again, coach is like, no, we took a break 2 weeks. I'm like, you're joking. Aren't you tired?
Yeah.
But you just let kids be kids. And now older girl, and even older, so let's say 16U and older, they're not playing in the spring. Well, they're playing school ball,
right?
Usually.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so they're not playing in tournaments. And there's like a big core group of not clinics, tournaments that they're doing in the summer, and then maybe I think we did 2 tournaments in the fall, and it was just to swing the bat,
right? Just like a tune-up tournament, just for fun, to get people together before the off season probably started.
But you've got and I think a lot of teams take pride in, well, we played 100 games this year, and I'm like, that's not a good thing.
yeah, no, that's a lot. Yeah, I always used to tell people to take it like 2 months. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, they'd have tryouts would be in August. Again, up here, I know it varies by state, right?
Yeah.
So for us, we do have the snow in the winter, but people do, play fall tournaments and then go into their winter practices. And so after tryouts, it would be, September, October.
Yeah.
Just kind of chill, you know what I mean? Do your individual work, do your
Yep.
tee work. If you want to go in and do a couple of hitting lessons, that's fine, but like, and then November. Start up in November
Right.
again,
Yeah.
and then kind of get it going as you lead up to your high school season
Yep.
coming in March or whatever, March, April.
Yeah, and I played 3 sports and all the way through high school: volleyball, basketball, softball. So I always knew softball was my sport. So I would know, like, after basketball practice in the winter, I would go outside or in the garage and hit off the tee. Like,
yeah.
because I knew I needed to, but I also enjoyed it. Like, I would go out and throw a ball, play catch with my brother, because I just wanted to.
Yeah.
It wasn't you have to go to we have 4 practices this week in December. Not that we could in Ohio, but it's like, you have 4 practices when you're 10 in December for softball. It's like, well, no, we don't even be doing that.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this content valuable.